So welcome back guys to We Talk Boxing, and today I'm going to be talking about the news which is coming out in terms of the boxing world in regards to Chris Eubank Jr. and Canelo Alvarez. Now, apparently talks are going ahead between the pair for a potential blockbuster fight here in the UK next year. Now, don't really know what to kind of make of this because a part of me would love to see Canelo Alvarez fight over here in the UK. And for him to do that, he needs to be fighting against the biggest names in boxing, and the biggest British name at the minute in that weight division, or around that weight division, is Chris Eubank Jr. Now, does he deserve a shot to fight Canelo Alvarez? Is he good enough to fight Canelo Alvarez? From my point of view, I'm going to say no. Canelo Alvarez is the elite of the elite and is far superior to Chris Eubank Jr. But what Chris Eubank Jr. Will do is he will leave everything in the ring, and I potentially perceive that fight, if it was to get made, would end the same way that Amir Khan's fight ended. And that's with a severe knockout for Chris Eubank Jr. and a very easy payday for Canelo Alvarez. Um, but again, we know there's a couple of dates that Canelo Alvarez likes to fight on. He likes to fight in May and around September. So again, if the fight is going to be considered for next year, that is around the time that this fight could potentially get done. Now, is this just a ploy for Chris Eubank Jr. to use against Conor Benn to try and entice him and his team to maybe sign the contracts or agree to the fight and get it scheduled for next year? Maybe. But for myself, if it isn't a ploy and it is legit, I give Chris Eubank Jr. maybe a 5, maybe 10% max chance of winning. But as I said earlier, he is the biggest UK name, so he's probably the only man in my eyes who could help Canelo Alvarez sell out a stadium like Wembley here in the UK. And let's face it, Canelo's not going to be fighting for peanuts, is he? So I'm not sure how or where the funds are going to come from for this, because Canelo's going to demand a substantial amount of money, and I'm not sure whether or not um, the UK promoters have got that sort of cheddar, really. And Chris Eubank Jr. is with Boxer. I'm sure he's with Boxer, and don't think they've got that money either. So this could potentially be maybe another Saudi thing. Maybe the Saudis could get involved and try and promote this fight and get this fight on as well. So that will be interesting. I personally can't see this fight happening. Sorry, I do think it's just a ploy. But it goes to show how much ambition Chris Eubank Jr. has to try and win a world title, because he's not coming out and calling out the world champions in his divisions, is he? It's pretty much just like calling out these big money fighters such as Conor Benn, obviously Canelo Alvarez. He's even in the past, as well as you guys already know, called out Terence Crawford as well. But he's not calling out any of the world champions in his weight, which is a bit disappointing because realistically, like, yes, he's won the IBO, but the IBO is not a proper legitimate title for which most people consider a world title. So if it's me, I'm thinking, okay, who's the WBO? Who's the IBF champion? You know what I mean? Who's the WBA? Who's the WBC champion? Can I challenge one of these guys? And currently the champions in that division are Carlos Adames, Arislando Lara, and obviously the main man as well, Adam Yanabek. I can't pronounce his name, but anyway, Yanabek. So they're like the main guys in that division, and he's not calling them out. So I do feel as if his world title ambitions are done now. He's not going to be a world champion, and we just need to face it. But what he is going to do is going to be in some big, hopefully exciting fights and earn a lot of money before he retires as well. But if that fight with Canelo was to be made after Chris Eubank's last performance, it's straight. It's a it should be a comfortable night's work for Canelo Alvarez, realistically, because for me anyway, Eubank Jr. got caught far too much in that fight. He showed obviously good durability. Offensively, he's good, but defensively, he's awful. But it'd be a very comfortable night's work for Canelo Alvarez, and the fight will end when he wants it to end. And I'd probably say it ends within 4, 5, maybe 6 rounds max. But yeah, you guys let me know your thoughts in regards to your chances that you give Chris Eubank Jr. against Canelo, and what is your thoughts really about that? You know what I mean? As I said earlier, for me it'd be brilliant to see Canelo Alvarez here in the UK fighting against one of our UK fighters, and it will be obviously at Wembley, which isn't the greatest really for viewing live, watching live, but it's still watching one of the greatest, and I would literally get a ticket just to say that I've watched Canelo Alvarez box live. Like, even though it would be at Wembley, Wembley's a shit arena for boxing in my opinion. But yeah, if it isn't Canelo, what are your preferences for Chris Eubank Jr.? Do you want to see him in there with Conor Benn just to settle that? Or would you like him, as what I think he should do is try and challenge and fight for a world title and win that? I think he probably knows that he's not good enough to beat the world champions. That's probably all it is. But anyway, guys, let me know your thoughts. And as always, please subscribe and comment. Bless.